Hello everyone. I wanted to do a video, seeing as how it's a new year, on what films I'm looking forward to seeing most. I'm sort of skipping over some of the big budget event movies, like the next Hobbit and the next Hunger Games and the next Star Trek and the next Die Hard and the next Superman and the next this and that and the other thing. They're more Marvel movies, of course, what have you. All of these are movies that are going to be heavily marketed, so it's not like I need to keep a careful eye out in case I miss them, because I'll know very well when they come out. So they'll be talked about and written about and advertised heavily beforehand. So I'm going to focus on some of the comparatively lower profile movies. My number 10 most anticipated movie was, I was having a little difficulty choosing one to go in this slot. I was thinking about Warm Bodies and Upside Down, which is a fantasy with Jim Sturgis and Kirsten Dunst. And then there's the movie 43, which looks pretty funny. But I decided to settle on Machete Kills, which is Robert Rodriguez's sequel to Machete, which has Danny Trejo and Jessica Alba and Michelle Rodriguez back again. But also has people like Mel Gibson, Vanessa Hudgens, Sofia Vergara, Antonio Banderas, Amber Heard, Cuba Gooding Jr., Lady Gaga, and possibly Charlie Sheen as the President of the United States. Now, I didn't like Machete a lot. I thought that there were too many villains in it, and it just sort of wasn't structured very well. But that cast right there, that's reason enough to see it. I think it should be fun. I'm hoping it's fun. Give you the benefit of the doubt on that. Side Effects is a movie that used to be called A Bitter Pill. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh. Jude Law, Rooney Mara, Channing Tatum, and Catherine Zeta-Jones are in it. And I think everybody except for Rooney Mara has already worked with Soderbergh before. Yes, that's right. Each of those guys. Jude Law was in Contagion, and Catherine Zeta-Jones was in Traffic and Ocean's 12. And of course, Channing Tatum's been in at least 2 Soderbergh movies now. Rooney Mara plays a woman who's on some sort of medication, and it's apparently doing something well for her. However, then there's all sorts of trouble involving a possible murder or sickness or just I don't really know what's going on. I've watched the trailer, I really can't figure out the plot, but that's okay. I'll find out what the plot is when I see the film. Soderbergh is an automatic must-see for me, so there you go. That's one right there. Then we have a new Martin Scorsese film, which will probably be coming out at the end of the year. The Wolf of Wall Street takes place, of course, in the financial district in New York. Leonardo DiCaprio is the main character, as he usually is in Scorsese films. Jonah Hill, Matthew McConaughey, Kyle Chandler, Jon Favreau, who of course is an actor in addition to being the director of 2 Iron Man movies. Ethan Suplee, Rob Reiner, who is also a director, and Spike Jonze, who is also a director, are all in this movie. Don't really know about the story too much, but you know, Scorsese, I'm down. You know, it's I'm hoping it's more of a fast-paced kind of drama like The Departed or Goodfellas. You know, sounds like the sort of environment. You know, because Wall Street's a fast-paced world. It's appropriate. Scorsese's good with that. Then, of course, we have another Rodriguez film called Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, which is a sequel that's been a long time coming. Sin City, the first one came out in April of 2005, so this one's like 8.5 years after. This one's supposed to come out in October. They haven't shot it yet, but you know Rodriguez, when he works on green screen, he shoots really quickly. He's co-directing with Frank Miller again, and you've got Clive Owen and Rosario Dawson and Jessica Alba and Mickey Rourke all returning in their parts. Jamie King is returning as well. She played one of the twins, or both of them, but only one I think is left. Or maybe both of them. Some of these stories I think take place before the original Sin City. The stories in the original Sin City were told out of sequence. The Bruce Willis story came last, but it actually takes place before the other 2. And then you've got A Dame to Kill For, which is the story that takes place before the Clive Owen storyline, which is called The Big Fat Kill in the original Sin City. So that there's nice temporal confusion there. Also, Jamie Chung is taking over for Devon Aoki, I think that's how you pronounce her name, as the girl with samurai swords, the one who never says anything, Miho. Michael Madsen in a small role in the original Sin City. He'll be back as his character. And then you've got Minute, who is a gangster type. He was played by Michael Clark Duncan in the first one, but of course Michael Clark Duncan died last year, so either Dennis Haysbert or Tony Todd is taking over for him. I'm not really sure which one. But in addition to A Dame to Kill For, which is a book that Frank Miller already wrote. There's also an original storyline that isn't a book that Frank Miller wrote just for the movie, which is Jessica Alba's character, Nancy, taking revenge against the people who were tormenting Bruce Willis's character in the first film. And that's only 2 storylines, so there should be a third. I really hope that it's family values. I really like family values a lot. However, that's also a story which stars the Clive Owen character, so I'm thinking it probably won't be that one. It'll be something else instead. Maybe another Marv book. I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's one that's exciting. Now, Lovelace is based on the real-life exploits of a porn star named Linda Lovelace in the 70s. This movie is directed by Rob Epstein and Jeffrey Friedman. They did a film called Howl, in which James Franco played the poet Allen Ginsberg. I haven't seen that movie, but with a cast like this, it looks very interesting anyway. Amanda Seyfried plays Linda Lovelace, and given that she's playing a porn star, we're probably seeing a lot of her, which is, reason enough for me to see the film. Then you've got Peter Sarsgaard, Adam Brody, Juno Temple, Chloe Sevigny, Chris Noth, Robert Patrick, Hank Azaria, and interestingly enough, Eric Roberts and Sharon Stone, who were both in The Specialist as people who hated each other. So that'll be fun to see them teaming up again. The Specialist is a terrible, 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 terrible movie, but it has some entertainment value. And also James Franco will be appearing in this film as well. So that's one to look forward to. Ben Stiller's new comedy that he stars and directs in is called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which of course is based on a classic short story about an ordinary guy with a very overactive imagination, imagining himself in different places, going on adventures, big, incredible, exciting stuff that's missing from his regular life. That sounds like a fun film. I like Ben Stiller a lot. Kristen Wiig and Patton Oswalt are also in this movie. I like both of them. Shirley MacLaine, and apparently Sean Penn might be in it as well. But I'm not for sure on that. Anyway, that's definitely an exciting one right here. Also exciting is a new film by the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen. Their new movie is called Inside Llewyn Davis. And what I've read about this movie is that it's set in the 1960s, and it's done in the style of a 1960s documentary, which makes it a mock doc. Don't really know much about the story beyond that. Llewyn Davis is played by Oscar Isaac, who played Blue, the guy who was running the brothel in Sucker Punch. Haven't seen a lot of him besides that. Also, Justin Timberlake's in the movie, Carey Mulligan, Garrett Hedlund, F. Murray Abraham, who played Salieri in Amadeus, and John Goodman, of course, who has been in many Coen Brothers movies, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Barton Fink, and The Big Lebowski. He played Walter in The Big Lebowski. I can get you a toe, dude. I can get you a toe by like 3 o'clock today. So, always like the Coen Brothers. Spike Jonze has directed 3 movies so far, Adaptation, and Being John Malkovich, and Where the Wild Things Are, and his new movie is called Her, which he also wrote the screenplay for. This is a movie about a guy who falls in love with Siri, the voice on the iPhone. He falls in love with the woman's voice on the iPhone, Siri. That guy's played by Joaquin Phoenix. And also in this movie you've got Amy Adams and Olivia Wilde and Rooney Mara again, and Samantha Morton, who is an English actress. You probably remember her best from Minority Report. She played one of the 3 precogs in Minority Report. So that sounds like a fun film. I like Spike Jonze quite a bit. Now, Devil's Knot is based on a true story. It's about, there were these 3 teenagers who were sort of goth and into, hard rock or metal music, and they were accused of killing kids in a satanic ritual. There's been a couple of documentaries already made about them. Paradise Lost was the first one. This is a dramatization of that same story, I believe. It is directed by Adam Agoyan, who's a Canadian director who's done films such as Adoration and Chloe and The Sweet Hereafter and Exotica. Very interesting guy. Really like him. The cast includes one of my favorite actresses, Reese Witherspoon, Colin Firth, Bruce Greenwood, Elias Koteas, who's been in a number of Adam Agoyan films, Amy Ryan from Gone Baby Gone, and Stephen Moyer from True Blood. So that's definitely one to be excited about. And my number 1 most anticipated movie of 2013 is a holdover from last year called Gravity. Presumably they still have lots of work to go on the effects. It takes place in space. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney are a couple of astronauts. There's damage to their ship. They're trying to figure out a way to get back to Earth safely. So that can be pretty harrowing. The movie is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who did The Prisoner of Azkaban, and Children of Men, and Y tu mamá también, and it's a director I admire quite a lot. And just technically, the movie sounds very, very interesting, because the opening shot is apparently 20 minutes long. Presumably it's stitched together with digital effects and what have you, but yeah, sounds pretty crazy. Sounds like quite a feat to pull off, and I guess I'm not surprised that it got delayed, because they probably needed a lot more work on the effects in order to make them look as good as possible. It's okay that they need to take more time as long as the movie in the end is good. So that is what I'm looking forward to. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to leave me a comment, letting me know what you think of these movies, how do they sound, or what are you looking forward to yourself. There's plenty, of course, out there to look forward to. But like I said, I'm not as excited about the big event movies anymore, because it's not like I need to, they've already got their release dates locked in. They're definitely coming out, and there's no ignoring them when they come out, you know what I mean? So thanks for watching, appreciate it, and I'll see you again real soon with a best of 2012 list, which I've yet to put together. Thanks again, guys. Bye.